So let me just begin this afternoon's session by saying good afternoon. Thank you all for coming, and we hope to have a lively presentation to keep you awake after that heavy lunch. Just crowd on in, and this is a good session for sight, so make sure you get in sight line of the screen if you can. I'm delighted that we have so many of you here to go on the journey with us this afternoon, with the ultimate destination being a way or ways to help you expand your online production and presentation of multimedia material. Oops. I think of this as a journey that began 20 years ago, and probably for some of us even longer. When you think back, it was only in 1995 that the term internet was actually officially defined by the Federal Networking Council. That same year saw the startup of Highwire Press and online publication of Journal of Biological Chemistry. That followed quickly with Science, PNAS, and Journal of Neuroscience. Now it's the rare or non-existent scholarly journal that doesn't have a print and online presence or just an online presence. So we've been on this journey, all of us together, for quite some time, and we begin to ask the question, when will we get there? So I looked, as all good SSB people do, at Scholarly Kitchen for thoughts about where we are in terms of online multimedia delivery. And I found a quote from Kent Anderson, which I'll just skim through, but it's an interesting statement. He says, "When the internet stormed onto the scene, all bets were off. This revolutionary technology with limitless potential would generate all sorts of creativity, from new article presentation, peer review, etc. Fast forward a decade and a half, and it seems little has changed. And perhaps, the papers are still a coin of the realm, and they still have abstracts, titles, authors, and references. In other words, the PDF still rules." All right, so I thought, so we're still working at getting there. Let me see what other people had to say. And somewhat even less cheerily, Joe Esposito wrote, "And so, in scholarly communication sits here with our wretched PDFs, which I particularly love, which we download and print out before reading. A PDF is modeled on the printed page. For all the talk of digital libraries and digital this and digital that, we've barely begun to catch up with how we experience content in our non-professional lives." So, today we're going to help you get further along on this journey with 4 excellent presentations, starting with Tad Campion, Henry, Betsy, and ending here with Christina. We hope you enjoy the journey and that you come to full realization of your potential not long after leaving the session. Before I turn it over to Tad, I did want to remind you that tomorrow, if you're still interested in this topic, there is a roundtable dedicated to this topic. Just find it in the hall, and we'll continue the dialogue tomorrow. And I did want to say a special thank you to Marjorie Spraycar, who's hiding over here, whose idea it was to have this panel, and she was instrumental in helping us put it together and then handing the baton to me, which I will now hand to Tad.